they have supplied an addressed envelope. Cheap bastards. Hi, it's me again, and some good news. My employer is now TV licence free. It's quite a big company. We've got offices all over the shop. I won't tell you who, obviously. But I have convinced them that some of them seem to have found out that I had a YouTube channel. Don't know why, because I didn't tell them. I don't broadcast that I do this. But they found out, and they talked to me about it. And we're now TV licence free at the office. And to that effect, I got this letter even, to one of the offices that I work out of. So obviously we've had to do some stuff. So that's what we could talk about in this video if your business is going to be licence free. Same sort of similar rules to what you'd have to do in your home address, you know. But the difference is here, we've had to brief the staff because obviously in the office now you can't watch or record anything that's being broadcast or access BBC iPlayer. And it is possible that a goon could come and visit the property. You know, so it's got this is one of the ridiculous letters. Look, I've obviously covered up the details. It says, open window with October the 11th circled. So this is, look, it's not open. I thought we could open this together. And whilst we're looking at this, we can have a chat about your business being licence free. Because you could have a cafe or a pub or something, or even just an office and be licence free. But the goons could still come a knocking. So you need to make sure your staff know what they're doing. And you need to know how to handle the goons, don't you? So let's crack this open. We'll have a look at the nonsense that it contains within. See if it's different to the ones that you get to your home address. So genuinely, it's box fresh, so I haven't opened it. I'm just going to use this bit of tape to cover up some of the bits. Because I did a video on my other channel about a letter last week. If you're not subscribed already and you like my TV licence and BBC stuff, go over to my other channel, TV Licence Stop. There's a link below. And I did a video on a letter, I think it was last week. And I forgot to cover up all this. And it took me hours to edit the video to cover it up. I was fuming, I was. So let's just cover all this up. Hold on, bear with. Right, sorry about that. Just had to do that because it saves me editing the video out ages. So this is what we're left with here. I'll chuck it on the screen for you. Quite similar to the ones we get at home, but it is addressed to the proprietor or manager at, and then the address. So I'm expecting to get these to other offices of my company. So let's go through it. Now this calendar thing, it costs more envelopes with the window. I know because we used to send a lot of envelopes out. So that's added to the cost. And they've circled the 11th. And the headline is, you have until the 11th of October to get correctly licensed. But we are correctly licensed currently. We don't need one. We don't watch or record anything that's been broadcast, use BBC iPlayer. We are correctly licensed. So hopefully you'll mention that in here. I bet they don't. There is still no record of a TV licence at this business address. Therefore, it is a criminal offence if anyone at your premises uses any device plugged into the mains to watch or record live TV programmes on any channel, or download or watch BBC programmes on iPlayer without being covered by a TV licence. So this is a bit different to the ones you get to your home address, because if an employee has a TV licence for their home address, they can watch or record anything that's being broadcast or access BBC iPlayer on your unlicensed premises, as long as they don't plug their device, laptop, phone, tablet, whatever, into the mains. If it's running off their own battery power, it's the student rule again, isn't it? It's a similar rule to that. So that is something you might want to brief your employees about. And if you've got people in your cafe who want to watch telly, not just Netflix, they want to watch Homes Under the Hammer or something while they sit and have a cup of coffee, they can. Even though you don't pay the TV licence fee, as long as they don't plug it into the mains. They're just sitting there on their phone or their iPad, whatever. Yep, no problem. Always a good bit. What happens if we haven't heard from you by the 11th of October? I'll hazard a guess here. Not much will happen, but let's see what they say. We appreciate you may be busy. That's why we're giving you the time to get correctly licensed or tell us you don't need one. However, if you haven't contacted us by the 11th of October, I feel a threat coming on. Your address will be passed on to our enforcement team. One of our officers may then investigate your premises in person. Ooh, that's such a good investigation. The investigation is so good that I don't believe it even has my company name on here. No, the proprietor or manager at address, no company name. So their investigation is superb. There's a crack investigative team again at TV licensing. One of our officers may then investigate your premises in person, but you don't even know the company name that you're sending this to, even though there's a whacking great big sign above the office. Go on Google Earth, you'd see it. Not Google Earth, Google Street View. So yeah, great investigation there. That's just another reason how you know it's a complete and empty threat. If you haven't contacted us by the 11th of October, you will go to an enforcement team. I don't care. I don't have to tell you. We can tell you that we don't require a licence, doing the no licence needed exemption. We can do that. And that would cut down on these letters for a couple of years. But in my mind, I think it guarantees you a visit. You don't have to tell them. You know, we cancelled the TV licence. We did have a licence at this address and it was cancelled. And now we're getting a proprietor or a manager. They would have a contact at that, not me, obviously. Yeah, odd. But you don't have to tell them. So why are you threatening to send someone round if I don't tell you I don't require one? As long as someone or everyone in the office and every visitor to the office isn't watching or recording anything that's been broadcast or accessing BBC iPlayer on a device plugged into the mains, we don't require one. We do not have to tell you about it. Stop it with the empty threats. This isn't the scariest threatening one they've ever done, but we haven't got to the end yet. Let's carry on. If we find evidence of illegal TV viewing, you could be prosecuted. The maximum penalty is a criminal conviction, a fine of up to £1,000 for each instance someone is caught watching TV illegally, plus any costs and or compensation you may be ordered to pay. Yeah, again, that's a bit different to the ones you get sent to your home address, isn't it? So let's address it as it's written. So if we find evidence of illegal TV viewing, you could be prosecuted. How are they going to find evidence? You're not welcome into my premises. If you try and buzz in, we will say on the tannoy, yes, can I, well, through the intercom thing, the receptionist girl, or boy, will say, hello, can I help? And they will say, hello, I'm from TV licensing. And then you will be told through the intercom system, no thank you, please leave our premises, goodbye. Because that's how they've been briefed, to speak to you people. If you lie and say you're there on business or something, you may be walked into reception, at which point you'll be asked to identify yourself and state what your business is, and then you'll have to come clean and say you're worth a TV licence. Then you'll be asked to leave the premises, and possibly I'll come downstairs and give you a gobful for lying to get into the premises. Or maybe not, because I don't want you to know where I'm working. But anyway, so you could be prosecuted if they find evidence that they're not going to find it. That's that. It's a bit different. Have you got a pub or a cafe and they can just kind of walk in, can't they? Come up to the bar or come at the counter, sit at a table, whatever. That's a bit different to the situation we're in. I get that. But they've still got to identify themselves. They can't just walk around investigating. Who are you? I'm from TV licensing. I'm just having a look about to see if you've got a telly on. Get out, mate. You're not welcome here. And they will have to go. And if you want to film them on your phone, holding it up, it's worth it. I used to say don't do it, but it is worth it to annoy them. Because in their rule book, in their handbook that they're given and trained on, training, the operative word for these people, obviously, they have to report that upper level, any instance of them being filmed. So it just adds more paperwork and more ag to their day. And I like that. Anyway, the maximum penalty is a criminal conviction. Yeah, that would be for the proprietor or manager, presumably. A fine of up to £1,000 for each instance someone is caught watching TV illegally. Now, I know for personal addresses, the £1,000 fine is the maximum penalty. Very rarely given out. I've said it a million times, and average fine's about 150 quid. Don't know about businesses. I need to do a bit more on that. And it's for each instance someone is caught watching TV illegally. So if, you know, you've got... How does that work then? I might put an FOI in for this, or email them and ask them a question at least. Let's say you had a pub and you were showing live football, but you didn't pay the TV licence, and there was 100 people in your pub watching football. Would that be 100 times the fine? Or 1 times the fine because there's one telly? Well, they're saying here, for each instance someone is caught watching. So, yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? So, yeah, it's a bit different for businesses. But, you know, if you're going to have a pub or a restaurant and you're going to not have a TV licence, you are going to have to play a straight game. I know there's many people with a residential address that cancel a TV licence but continue watching anything they want. I am aware that happens. I'm not one of them, but I'm aware that that happens. Bit different in this situation, isn't it? As I say, we had to brief all of our staff. If you've got a pub and you show sport, you've got to have a telly licence, haven't you? But for like a little cafe or for our office, for instance, we don't need one. But we're lucky we got the intercom system and they couldn't get in to investigate anyway. All right, what else we got? Take action before our investigation further. Oh, take action before we take our investigation further. Sorry, I haven't got my glasses on. Go to TV licensing to buy a TV licence, move a licence, or tell us you don't need one, which I don't have to do. Nowhere here does it say that. Nowhere here does it say you don't have to tell us you don't need one. As long as no one's watching a recording, anything's been broadcast, or accessing BBC iPlayer on your premises, you don't need to tell us. We'd like it if you do, but we'd like it even more if you buy a licence. But you don't have to. So as long as you're playing by the rules, you can ignore this letter. Why can't they just say that? No idea. If you recently bought a licence, thank you, our records will be updated, blah, blah, blah. Remember, you have until the 11th of October to act. Well, I can put you on notice now, TV licensing, that I won't be acting. It's the 5th of October today, the evening of the 5th of October. I won't be acting. I won't be doing anything about it. And if these are similar letters to the ones that get sent to residential addresses, right? And I did a video on this about one that was dated with the circle around the calendar, pretty much this exact letter. And I followed up with as many people as I could. Loads of people sent me that. I think it's about 200 people sent me a copy of that letter by email over at tvlicencestop.co.uk. And I followed up with as many as I could. It was in the hundreds. Not one person came back to me and said, yes, on the date they circled on the letter, they turned up. In fact, no one emailed me and said they turned up at all, anywhere near the date. What's that tell you? It's an empty threat. It's to try and scare you. And if you're a business owner, times are hard enough as it is. I mean, I work for quite a big company. We could afford the 159 quid a year. We have been affording it. We could afford it. It's just a matter of principle here. Why should we be scared by this when we're doing nothing wrong? Why should you threaten to send the boys round to my company when we're doing nothing wrong? What's on the back? Is there anything good? How many licenses does my address need? A single license covers your entire business address, no matter how many devices are used. So if you've got more than one office, more than one pub, more than one cafe, you need a license for each address. But you knew that anyway, didn't you? Choose how to pay, correspondence in Welsh. Oh, I like this bit at the bottom. Do we have the right details for your business? If not, take a moment to tell us your correct details on the form. Once you've completed it, just send the form back. And I believe they have supplied an addressed envelope. Cheap bastards. You need to use a stamp. You want me to send in my details to you free of charge? At least you could do is cough up for a bloody stamp, you tight gits. Right, so this is a bit of a Mickey take, isn't it? So they don't know the name of the proprietor or manager. They don't know the name of the business. They just got the address on their database unlicensed. Do us a favour, because you're unlicensed, give us all of your details so that we can hound you better in future. I try not to do the big swear words on this channel, but that nearly made me do one. What an absolute Mickey tape. So yeah, I'll let you know how this goes. So they found out that I do this sort of thing, brief the staff, blah, blah, blah. If anything comes of it, or if there is any visits or there is any more letters, I'll keep you updated. But remember, if you want to watch I still do a lot of BBC and TV licence related stuff, just not so much on this channel now. Go over, it's TV License Stop. You find it on YouTube. I'm putting 5 videos a week up, something like that at the minute. Go and have a look. The link's below here anyway, or just type it in, whatever. And yeah, like I say, I'll keep you updated with that whenever something happens, but I doubt much is going to happen. What do you think about this? Have you got a business? You run a small business, or you work for a big company like me? Do you pay the TV licence there? Do they not? Did you have to talk to your staff? Do you have to... I've seen coffee shops with signs up saying we don't have a TV licence, so you can't do this, can't do that, which is great. Let me know what you think about it all down in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. Hit the buttons. Let me know your thoughts, and hopefully I'll see you in another video again soon, won't I? Ta-da!